Good evening, all participants. I welcome you once again in today's session of Atal FDP. Today is the fourth day of this FDP, and again today we will be having two more very insightful and knowledgeable sessions. The first session will be taken by Mr. Maulik Chandani, and second will be taken by Dr. Mayank Tiwari. So, it's already 6:03, so I hope we should start with the session. Shall we start with the session, Maulik, Gajananji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can
Okay,
Yes.
start.
okay. So our first speaker today is Mr. Maulik Chandani, and he will be delivering his session on green finance and investment. So before Mr. Maulik Chandani proceed, I would like to share a very brief introduction of Mr. Maulik Chandani. Mr. Maulik Chandani is a trained and qualified company secretary. He has completed his Master of Commerce from Maharaja Ganga Singh University. Later on, he did his MBA, and he is currently, he is pursuing PhD. He has submitted his thesis, and very shortly he will be awarded the doctorate degree. His area of expertise is CSR and green finance. He has authored two books and he has written more than 15 research papers, which are published in peer-reviewed journals and Scopus General. And so I now welcome Mr. Maulik Chandani to please proceed with his session. Over to you, Maulik.
Thank you so much, Shailendra sir, for this warm welcome. Myself, Maulik Chandani, welcome you all to this FDP. Today's session, which I'm going to deliver to you all, is about green finance, as Shailendra sir had already mentioned. Sir, I hope my presentation is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
So let us start our discussion on the concept of green finance and investment. Green finance, we can just discuss it with the help of a very basic example. Think about yourself as an investor. Gone were those days when we were talking about an investment which was just yielding a return of 8%, 10% or 20% without having any relevance to its impact on the nature, its impact on the environment, or society in general. If a project is giving us an investment return of 10% or 20% or 30%, that was more than enough for us as an investor. But now the investor is sensible. We as an investor are very sensible. We want an assurance that our finance investment not only provides us a reasonable return on our investment, but also the investment which we are doing and the corporates, or we are giving it to the banks or government directly or indirectly. We want an assurance as an investor that these funds are invested in those projects which are sustainable enough, which have a positive impact on the environment, on our health, on the health of our society, whether national or international. We are talking about global level. Of course, the governments, the banks, the financial institutions, the regulatory bodies are also aware of the fact that the investors and society in general now need a return along with an assurance that this particular or their particular investments are also giving a positive impact to the environment and nature. Keeping this theme in mind, what we had discussed so far, let us now introduce you to the topic of green investment and finance. Now, green finance, as the name indicates, is the providing of finance by the investors to those corporates or banks or financial institutions, or in fact the government. Sorry. So green finance, as the name indicates, are the source of finances which the governments or the corporates are ready to bear, which have a positive impact on the nature or environment. So the management of the key financial resources are very important, especially for these industries like sustainable agriculture, renewable energy, electric mobilities, which nowadays gaining a very much importance as earlier, as compared to the earlier days. Now let us start with the topic of green finance. Green finance basically means your investments channelizing into the projects and initiatives that brings positive impact on environment. Broadly, green finance projects includes the clean transportation facilities, renewable energy sources, energy efficient services and investments, waste management, and sustainable agriculture and related development areas. Thus, as the key points indicates, we are into the social and governance consideration for aiming towards the long-term sustainability issues of the economies and the community welfare. So let us start with discussing the above key points, above 5 points. We are talking about clean and green transportation. Nowadays, we all witnessing the fact that traditional two-wheelers or four-wheelers or public transportations are being eradicated to the scratch, and new types of vehicles like electronic vehicles, electric vehicles, e-scooters, e-rickshaws, e-buses, e-cars have taken a front foot. Metro rail systems, battery and rickshaws, bicycles are more promoted across the world as compared to the traditional vehicles. Now, we are talking about the clean transportation or EVs. How the EVs will be manufactured? Of course, we will be needing finance. Suppose you are an investor who is investing in a company which is producing electric vehicle. So are you a part of green finance as an investor? Yes. Is that company a part of a sustainable project? Yes. That company is delivering a green project to the society, which will in turn impact the society positively, impact the nature positively. And we as an investor are assuring that our finances are raised in the manner which is positive towards the society and the environment. The next component of green finance is the renewable energy sources. As we all understand the fact that many companies now are on the verge of converting all their projects into renewable sources projects which do not pollute the environment. Solar power plants, wind energies, hydropower plants, the monies are using for those projects in building the solar parks, wind farms, rooftop solar panels. Nowadays, the project of solar panels have gained a momentum as a business. And energy grid, of course. Energy efficient services, we daily talk about we were talking about the normal tube lights or fans, then we were talking about LCDs, then we were talking about the LEDs, be it bulbs, be it TVs, be it refrigerators, be it ACs. We are talking about the smart and energy saving electric equipments. All these are requiring a source of fund. That source of fund is green finance. So when we are talking about these types of projects, like as you can see, waste management projects for collecting, recycling, disposing of waste, like recycling plastic, paper, metal, composting kitchen waste, all these types of and lastly sustainable agriculture. All these types of projects, broadly classified into the above 5 parts, require finance. The finance from the institutions, banks, financial institutions, whether domestic or international, finances in the form of equity shares, preference shares, debentures, loans, bonds, borrowings from us as an investors. The funding which we provide as an investor, keeping in mind that the company asking for the funds is utilizing the funds in the systematic process of making the environment green, making a positive environment, impacting the environment negatively to its minimum. This particular concept of providing the funding is green finance for sustainable development projects and ensuring a climate which is favorable for the species living in the universe. So the concept of green finance has gained importance in the last few years due to the combination of environmental, economic and social factors. Like nowadays, due to increased globalization and industrialization, health concerns in the form of global warming, greenhouse gas effects, deforestation, pollution, and the side effects thereon on health and climate have gained very much recognition. So nowadays, the finance providers need that their funds should be channelized in those projects that reduce environment harm, like renewable sources of energy, energy efficiency, clean transport, etc. Nowadays, these green finance and sustainable finances have gained international recognitions, like Paris Agreement, UN Sustainable Development Goals. When we were talking about Sustainable Development Goals in the yesterday session, also taken by Shailendra sir, we will also be touching the SDGs and how the green finance is related with the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals in the international economies. Of course, green finance as an investor provides an investor as a confidence and a responsibility in the consumer investor that their projects, that their fundings are actually making a positive impact on the society and environment. Risk management, economic opportunities, CSR, and their goodwill. Nowadays, the corporates are also assume that their responsibility towards the society and the planet. They are adopting the ESG principles, that is environment, social, and governance principles, and focusing on maintaining the climate good and better for the society. And of course, we have now understood that in the long run sustainability of the business and of course the society is the green finance, or making our investment mobilize or channelize into those investments which are less harmful for the society and environment. So with this, we can conclude why green finance is important. Of course, our finance is directly related to the environment protection, like funding clean energy, afforestation, emission reduction, carbon footprint reduction, or conservation of biodiversity. Of course, our finances and the growth of the business is also related to the development of economy and economic growth, installing green sectors, solar power projects, EVs, organic farmings, for which the funds are utilized in the way of green finance, making a positive and sustainable economic growth in its real sense. And of course, the risk management activities like minimizing the climate risks, disaster resilient infrastructure, and supporting that particular infrastructure which is green in nature, and which is green in nature means with negative environment impact. So when we are talking about the components of green finance, we are talking about what are the sources of finance related in the green finance. We have the green bonds. Bonds, as the name indicates, are the debt instruments raised normally by the government and the banks and financial institutions. In India, Yes Bank was the first initiator by issuing a first green infrastructure bond of 1,000 crore rupees. And of course, its main purpose was to finance the renewable energy projects in the Indian society. We have green loans in the market like SBI, NABARD, HDFC, and right now they were the initiators like SBI, NABARD, and right now all the banks and financial institutions are providing you green loans to offer to maintain eco-friendly and sustainable activities. We have green investment funds. It is as good as mutual funds like SBI mutual fund, equity linked ESG funds. As you can nowadays see, there are types of mutual funds which are ESG linked funds, which, as the name indicates, your funds will be channelized to those projects which are sustaining environment, society, and governance. ICICI Prudential, and the list is much more. This is just an example. Carbon financing, green issuance for like ICICI, New India Assurance, they are investing their they are asking for the funds from us public to mitigate the risk relating to renewable sources of energy and environmental damage. Sustainable banking practices like Yes Bank, SBI, and almost every banks and financial institution are integrating their environment and social factors into the banking operations. Public green finance, as the name indicates, they are the government-funded projects, and for the government projects, the government, when raising funds, like normal bonds, instead of normal bonds, now the government are focusing on the sovereign green bonds, which is of course issued by the government of India through RBI. Private sector is also focusing on the green investment, like in the recent years, like Tata Power, Adani Green Power. If you can nowadays see NTPC Green, Suzlon Energy, and various other companies are focusing on the windmill, renewable sources of energy, and so on. Green microfinance, like NABARD, SKS Microfinance, were the initiators for small scale microfinancial institutions, and that too having a positive impact on the nature. We have the green regulation and standards in which we will be discussing in the upcoming slides. The regulators like RBI, SEBI, Ministry of Finance are making some standards and frameworks to assure that the companies are evolution of. Now we are talking about the evaluation of green finance in.
Malik sir, sorry for interpretation.
Yes, yes,
sir.
sir.
Your PPT is not changing, sir.
PPT is not changing.
Yeah, now it's working, sir.
It's working.
Now it's working. Sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So let us now quickly move to the next topic, that is evolution of green finance in India. We were talking about the fact that in 2025 we are not suddenly raised our concern. We have not suddenly raised our concerns, and this topic had gained a momentum quickly or in the recent past. We are focusing on these issues like ESG issues, that is environment, social, and governance areas much before today. Before 2010, we had an early phase, that is an awareness phase, where green revolution and green financing projects have started. Government and the lawmakers have focused their shift towards CSR activities, government programs, and international climate funds. Financial inclusion had also gained momentum, like GEF facilities, World Bank, and not only the international, but also the national agencies have also paved their path for CSR development projects. As you all might have been aware, that we have introduced Companies Act 2013, repealing the earlier 1956 Act, in which the CSR had gained a legal recognition across India. CSR is also one of the example of green finance, that through CSR we are actually developing those projects which are sustainable and having a positive impact on the society. Early policy recognitions from 2010 to 15, in which I had given you some examples, like in 2013, the Companies Act and CSR provisions have gained their momentum. The companies, financial and non-financial institutions, have recognized the fact that they have to link finance with sustainability. National Clean Energy Fund was established by the Government of India. In 2011, RBI was one of the first central banks to recognize sustainable and inclusive growth in its agenda. Yes Bank, IDFCs were main leaders in the form of banks and financial institutions of recognizing the concept of green lending and related sustainability reports. After that, from 2015 to 2020, we had gained a momentum in the form of expansion in the green finance activities. Like one of the very important agreement, or we can say a convention, was there, in which almost all the countries were the participants, including India. That was the Paris Agreement in 2015, which had been an international agreement by various governments on the climate finance. After that, major development includes the issuance of green bonds in India and recognized the green bond principles by SEBI. RBI had encouraged the banks to include the environmental risk also while taking the financing or the lending decisions, while giving the loans to the public or corporates. Public sector banks, corporates have also started issuing green bonds for funding renewable source projects. In the recent past, very important thing, the Government of India had also given a commitment in India's net zero 2070 target. What is this? Can anybody tell what is the net zero 2070 target? I want some participation from the participant side. Does anybody knows what is the target 2070? If anybody can answer, net zero 2070 target. Anybody? Shailendra sir, Gajanan sir, if anybody wants to answer, we can unmute the participant.
Yes, sir.
So, does anybody knows the 2070 policy of the Indian
Yes.
government?
Anybody can answer. Anybody can answer.
Yes, sir. I think I should proceed.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Proceed. You proceed.
So India's net zero 2070 target is, say for example, if we are doing any kind of business activity or the government is doing any production or operation, it if it is having a negative impact on the environment by releasing of greenhouse gases or the like, by 2070 we are focusing on the plan. The government of India, and not only the government of India, the international governments also are focusing on the plan that by 2070 the net result on the greenhouse effects can be minimized to zero. That means the amount of negative impact can be neutralized by the equal or more amount of the positive impact on the environment. That is the net zero greenhouse gas emissions target of all the international governments, including India. That target is going to be achieved by 2070 as a vision taken in the Paris Agreement. So, as a contributor to the net zero 2070 target, India has also taken the various actions, like in 2020, SEBI has introduced BRSR reporting in their ESG reporting framework. That is Business Responsibility and Sustainability Report, in which the businesses are now going to report to the investors and to the regulators that what impact exactly is the business is making apart from making the profits. The impact on the environment, the society, and the governance. ESG reporting frameworks are now in place. Of course, in 2022, Energy Conservation Amendment Act was also passed to minimize the carbon footprints. In the negative impacts of carbon footprint, of course. In 2023, the government of India, through RBI, had issued green sovereign bonds and raised around 16,000 crores to fund public green projects. Of course, they are the projects of the government of India. Of course, not only the government of India, the private players have also in the line to raise the funds from the public and, of course, the banks and financial institutions to expand their green portfolios. So after 2023, we are in the streamlining of the green projects and their reporting framework, as discussed in point number 4 above. The Indian government had also declared the development of the national green taxonomy, that is a legal and a proper regulatory taxonomy to standardize the definitions and to discuss and to elaborate the regulations in detail how to use the green finance. There is a rise of green fintech platforms for carbon tracking and sustainable lending. Retail investors are also increased their participation in fundings of ESG mutual funds, green bonds by the government of India, ESG funds, equity linked funds, or the mutual funds, having their focus on the environment and related climate financing option. So, as we had discussed, India is also a signatory to the Paris Agreement. India had also committed the net zero by 2070. This is again an important slide. We are on a continuous commitment to achieve net zero emission target. Government of India had declared that India will bring its non-fossil energy capacity to 500 gigawatts. It will also, of course, by 2030, we will fulfill 50% of energy through only renewable energy by 2030. Our net projected carbon emissions will be by 1 billion ton until 2030. Of course, we will cut by 1 billion ton. And so on. We will bring down the carbon intensity by more than 45% by 2030. And of course, we will achieve the target of net zero by 2070. This is basically a plan to achieve the net zero greenhouse and carbon emission footprints by the Indian government by 2070. Not only India, but US, Japan have committed the net zero target by 2050. Russia and China are the signatories to commit to the same net zero effect by 2060, and we by India by 2070. We are one of the 5 major developed or developing economies committing to the net zero economies, net zero carbon emission economies. However, the path is challenging. The IFC had estimated that India will require sustainable amount of climate finance by 2050 to achieve this 2070 zero green targets, net zero targets of green emission by 2070. An estimated US 10.1 trillion US dollar will be required as per IFC, which is a very big amount to commit to such sustainable development projects. Green finance and CSR. Now, one more topic is CSR and its relation with green finance. Both are in sharing a common goal of sustainable development. CSR, as the name indicates, corporate social responsibility, which is mandated in the Companies Act 2013, Section 135, that Indian companies are required to spend at least 2% of the average net profit of the last 3 years in the CSR activities. So corporates are actually using their CSR funds for environment sustainability, renewable energy, afforestation, waste management, and water conservation projects, which are a clear fundings of green finance. So CSR investments is actually acting as a non-market-based form of green finance. So example, Tata Steel, ITC, Hindustan Unilever, Adani Foundation, and almost all the big giants, corporate giants, have focused their CSR, they're focused on CSR green projects in India, like plastic waste collection systems, recycling projects, ITC mission, that is Sunehra Kal by ITC, and of course Tata as a brand is developing into the green projects from the last many years. Integrating with the corporate green finance, CSR goals have been integrated with the green finance instruments like green bonds, normally issued by Government of India or the RBI on behalf of Government of India, sustainability linked loans, which have tied their financial performance to the CSR performance indicators. Aligning the CSR with finance strategy, nowadays we can see that the corporates are focusing on the CSR and green fundings as their overall corporate and finance strategy, as they are aware of the fact that it will enhance the corporate reputation and long-term value creation for the stakeholders as well as the society. Of course, benefits include the brand trust, stakeholders relations, responsible investing into ESG, and of course, our commitment to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Now, let us have some statistical analysis that the total tracked green finance flows in India, as you can see, domestic and international sources, almost 83% of the total finance flows are the domestic flows, and the rest is international flows. In the last data relating to the 21-22 gives us a picture of almost $65 billion, which we have invested in the Indian economy in the green finance sector. As by the instruments we have issued, have raised almost $46 billion in the green bonds, 6% in social bonds, to almost $3 billion in the sustainability linked bonds, committing almost $56 billion as per 2024 report in the green debt instruments raised by India for the projects like green energy, transportation, and affordable houses or greenhouses, which we are talking about the green cities and sustainable houses. Government of India had also raised green sovereign green bonds, which you can see in the various quarters in the last 2 or 3 years, in which we had almost raised around 500 billion Indian rupees, which is equivalent to 5 or 6 billion US dollars. And we had also planned 200 billion rupees in the 2024-25 segment in order to achieve low carbon emission projects, green shoe options, around 20 billion per tranche. Sovereign bonds, as we had discussed, we had also the government of India and the corporate houses have also raised around 5.5 billion US dollars worldwide in the commitment of clean energy, low carbon projects, and MSMEs are also utilizing the funds in related projects. This is a sector-wise allocation of green finance, like clean energy, as we had discussed, energy efficient services, clean transport. Not only in India but also worldwide, the financial commitments are being made to make the Indian or the world economy a better place to live. Now we are talking about the SDGs, as in the previous or yesterday's session taken by Shailendra sir. He had elaborated the sustainable development goals in detail. Let us now understand the importance of green finance in committing the SDGs. Green finance is a critical enabler of achieving the sustainable development goals, as it channelizes the financial resources into environment projects and socially sustainable projects. It ensures that the investment contribute not only to the economic growth, but also to climate action, resource efficiency, and social well-being. So, as discussed in yesterday's lecture, the Sustainable Development Goals declared by the UN are basically divided into 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which includes poverty, zero hunger, health, quality education, gender equality, clean water, and so on. The list of 17 SDGs are in front of you at the screen. So, let us now discuss the role of green finance in achieving the Sustainable Development Goal. This is not the exhaustive list, but it is an inclusive list, and it also relates to other Sustainable Development Goals. So like SDG 7, affordable and green energy, as we are talking about, of course, green finance is the direct source of finance in which the funds are invested by the corporates and the government in affordable and green energy, renewable resources projects like solar energy, wind energy, and hydropower plants. SDG 9 talks about the industry, innovation, and infrastructure. The funds which are required for such development of infrastructure and sustainable practices are coped up by the green finance. We are talking about SDG 11, that is sustainable cities and communities. Nowadays, talks are going on to develop green cities, smart cities, energy efficient cities, for which eco-friendly transport practices like EVs, not only in two-wheelers, but also the mode of public transport like EV taxis, EV buses. For all those projects, the corporates and the government needs the funds. That funds are provided by the banks and stakeholders in the form of green finance. Responsible consumption and production, which encourages the economy and circular economy and waste recycling. Climate action, which mobilizes the funds, the green finance mobilizes the funds into the climatic activities for mitigation of climate risks. Life on lands, which talks about the projects in which the funds are invested, which supports afforestation, biodiversity conservation, land restoration initiative, both by the governments and the corporate houses. Let us talk about some of the examples of green finance supporting SDGs and the related bonds and instruments in India. Sovereign green bonds issued by the Government of India, by the Ministry of Finance and RBI, of course, which focuses on the environment friendly and environmental sustainable projects. Its alignment is with SDG 7 and SDG 13 for affordable and clean energy and climate action. Its impact is to strengthen the India's transition to the low carbon economy, to attract the global investors and issuing sustainability linked bonds. It builds the market confidence among the investors towards future investments, green investments. Of course, NABARD, one of the apex institution in regulating the agricultural projects and agriculture banks in India. It's also focused on the rural renewable energy, watershed management, sustainable agriculture. Of course, its alignment with SDG 2 to eradicate the hunger, and SDG 13, that is to make a positive impact of climate action. Solar power irrigation pumps, watershed development programs, biogas units, compositing systems are some of the examples of NABARD in which the NABARD is promoting and, of course, making regulations for the same. SBI Green Bonds, one of the prominent banks and government sector, public sector bank, has also issued green bonds in 2018, of course, in multiple tranches through SBI's medium-term note program, an initiative taken by SBI. Its alignment with SDG 9 and SDG 11 to commit to the industry, infrastructure, and sustainable cities project. The funds are utilized by the corporates in the form of renewable energy generation, mass transportation, waste to energy projects. Of course, it has extended the support to India's target of adding 175 gigawatts, now extended to, of course, 500 gigawatts till 2030. Yes Bank, also one of the private sector banks, has issued green bonds in 2015 worth rupees 1,000 crores to finance the projects, including solar projects, wind power generation projects, energy efficient upgradations. Of course, SDGs to support SDG 7 and SDG 9 in green energy and infrastructure, industry, and innovation. We also have various examples like Tata Power Renewable Energy Limited, Adani Green Energy, NTPC, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, who have committed their activities in sustainable development projects. As per Section 135 of the Companies Act, all the Indian companies who are great giants, that is, if their net worth is 500 crores or turnover 1,000 crores or net profit of 5 crores in the previous year, financial year, has to continuously commit to spend at least 2% of the last 3 years' average net profits to the CSR projects. One of the CSR projects is the ESG, that is Environment Goal projects. Examples like ITC, Hindustan Unilever, Tata Steel, Adani Foundation, Reliance Foundation, and all the major corporates are committing to the sustainable projects like sustainable agriculture, waste management, afforestation or biodiversity conservation, solar electrification, clean cooking programs in rural India, which clearly shows that the funds are channelized to the sustainable projects by the corporates in India. Of course, the public-private partnership, that is the collaboration between the Indian national and the state governments with the corporate houses and private investors, and not only at the Indian level but at the international level by the World Bank, Asian Development Banks, are also doing national and international projects in maintaining the sustainable development. Examples like Delhi Metro expansion, smart cities missions are making a positive impact on the society and climate and nature in general. So let us now talk about, sir, any doubt or query you can ask if the participant want to, or we can move forward, sir.
Yes, sir. Move forward, sir.
Okay, sir. So next we have IPOs. Now there is a buzzing word of IPO. IPO has gained a great momentum in India, be it a normal IPO or be it such IPOs which foster the SDG or green activity. If we talk about 5 years ago, there were no such companies like, in the general public domain, or the investors were not talking about the companies like NTPC Green, Suzlon Energy, Inox Green Energy, Ireda, or such examples of MSMEs, NTPC. But now in the last few years, these types of companies have raised crores or millions of rupees and dollars, not only in India, but also from the international investors, only for the utilizing of the project, the funds for the green projects. Some of the examples, there are only some of the examples. That is not an exhaustive list, but it is just an idea that how the Indian companies are raising crores and crores of rupees in aligning their goals with the sustainable development goals, and the main use of proceeds in the green and renewable energy or green projects, like companies like Inox Green, Ireda, Oriana. As you can see, multiple MSMEs or power IPOs. Wari Energy, one of the recent uh, IPOs in the last year. NTPC Green in the last 1 or 1.5 year had gained a momentum and raised crores of rupees in expanding the renewable projects, renewable funds for solar power plants, setup of solar power projects, EV based or the charging stations, or EV based machinery and equipments, EV based two-wheelers and four-wheelers, expanding the manufacturing units or other capital expenditure, only committing to the green and renewable energy sources. MTPC Green had recently reported to invest more than 10,000 crore rupees to accelerate renewable pipelines or to repay such or any other bank loan. Of course, series of PSUs like NTPC Green, ONGC Renewables, NLC India, SJV and Green have also invested a huge amount in promoting the capital expenditure and growth in the renewable sources of energy. The list is inclusive. It also includes Juminar, Continuum, Green Energy, Clean Max, Envino Infra, Satvik, Vikram, Sale, and so on. Many green SMEs have invested their amount. The amounts are also given, like 3,000 crores, 3,650 crores, 5,000 crores, 1,000 crores, 3,000 crores by each and every one of the companies, and the list is, of course, inclusive. So this recent IPO framework helps us to show that how the Indian corporates are committing their crores of rupees into such projects, which is helpful for the society and giving a direction in the green finance in India. Now let us talk about the role of the government, Indian government, in the energy or green energy sector. Recently, in the 2025-26 budget, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has been significantly increased in the finance budget declared in the 2025. We had increased, as you can see, the annual budget for the green energy sector, which was only 80 billion in 23-24, had raised to 191, almost we can say 200 billion in the budget of 2024-25, and in the budget 25-26, our government has given a budget of 265 billion, 265.49 or 265.5 billion to commit to the energy sector and renewable sources of energy. This fund will be utilized by the government and the Indian corporates in ensuring that India achieves its 2050 mission of net zero targets. Rooftop solar adoption by PM Surya Graha Yojana had raised a major boost in its investment. GECs, that is green energy corridors, have been given 600 crores in the recent budget. PM Kusum Yojana have been allotted 2,600 crores. Green energy hydrogen mission had also doubled its budget by 300 crores to 600 crores. These budgetary allocations are a remarkable commitment by the Indian government in the direction of green achievement of net zero and net zero targets and achieving a sustainable green India. But the challenges are also manifold. It is not easy by just raising the funds and ensuring the net zero targets by 2070 or 2050. There are challenges in the path of green finance in India, which includes the lack of clean or green taxonomy. Now, When we are talking about taxonomy, we are talking about the written standards. Right now, the government, RBI, SEBI, and of course the National Green Tribunal, they are joining hands and they are in the partnership discussing the fact that how to develop a proper taxonomy. Here, the taxonomy means a standard framework which can be utilized by all the government and corporate bodies in reporting the green issues. India is in the still in the developing phase of defining what exactly is green. Of course, we are on the path of green financing, but yes, the standard regulations, the standard taxonomy needs to be defined. There is a limited awareness and capacity. The investors, the financial institutions, they lack the technical knowledge of what exactly is green finance. It is the need of the hour to organize such kinds of FDPs, which we are organizing. Not only FDPs, investors education programs. In the last session, in the previous session taken by TK Jain sir yesterday, he had also talked about incubation centers. So to develop the incubation cells across the universities, across the business houses, where the utilizing of green finance, where the discussion on how the green projects can help the Indian and international economies, they are the need of the hour to discuss the issues between the corporates, the investors, and of course us as a faculties. We are assuming that many of the faculty members across the schools and colleges have also joined this FDP. We as educators have also are especially the finance faculties, they or the CSR faculties, we are also having a responsibility in teaching the students to about the green finance, about the role of green finance or impact of green finance in Indian economy and the international economy. What are the challenges which we are facing? Uh, Apart from it, high initial investment cost. Of course, these projects requires large upfront or initial capital, and of course a long-term vision, long payback periods, and of course short-term lending options prefer long financial institutions prefer traditional and short-term lending options instead to committing themselves into a long payback period. Now let us discuss what is exactly long payback period. Suppose we are investing in a green project and the investment will be of crores and crores of rupees. Say for example, a company had invested 10,000 crores. First of all, to arrange that 10,000 crores is a big deal. First thing. Second thing, that will not be recovered in the form of profits in the next 2 or 3 or 5 years. It will take 10 years or 20 years to make a company again profitable. So that is a payback period in financial management terms, that if I had invested a rupee in a project, how much time I will have to wait to recover that 1 rupee and earn additional rupee or so in the upcoming years. So the green projects, of course, require a longer payback or initial return period, which is a challenge challenges for the investors to block their funds for a very longer period of time. Inadequate data. Right now, we are talking that the green finance in India is an emerging concept. We don't have much national or international data on environment performance and project-based outcomes by the Indian corporates. We don't have the international disclosure and accounting standards to discuss these issues. We need to strongly monitor. We need to have a stronger monitoring and reporting frameworks. We have limited green financial projects. We've had discussed that corporates and Indian government had green bonds, equities, and financing options, but they are very few. Only a few banks and mutual funds offer dedicated green finance instruments. So most of the green projects depend on public fundings or government fundings or international fundings. Our private sector is relatively low in its participation in green finance, which is the need of the hour. Regulatory gaps. Now, RBI, SEBI, Ministry of Renewable Energy, they have initiated some of the guidelines, but there is a large gap in declaring a unified national policy framework in green finance coordination. So, lack of initiatives for financial institutions and banks to invest in the green products are also hampering the way of green achieving the green targets. Of course, these projects are relatively are in the verge of high risk and low returns, and for that reason, investors are not gaining much confidence because these projects, as we had declared, are longer payback, higher risk that these projects might run or might not run, and of course, they are having negative and low returns in the short run at least. So investors demand higher interest rates on guarantees, making the finance more expensive and time-consuming process in India. But yes, the future ahead is promising in terms of green finance. We are, as discussed, on the verge of development of the national green taxonomy, which will define the international and national standards of the green projects. What exactly will be a green project? What exactly will be a green investment? How much the corporates need to invest, in what direction, by way of and what will be the regulatory guidelines. We are on the verge of developing the national green taxonomy. Of course, the leading initiators are Ministry of Finance, RBI, and SEBI, and of course, sooner or later we will be getting this national green taxonomy. Expansion in the ESG investing. ESG is a concept which had gained a momentum in the last few years, but still the way of ESG is longer than what we expect. Rapid rise in ESG focused mutual funds and corporate disclosures are the proof that in the future, of course, the future of green finance is promising. SEBI had already established BRSR, very important, that is Business Responsibility and Sustainability Report, in ensuring that the ESG data given by the corporates are much more accessible to the investor and to the regulators and public at large in general, to assure that the corporates are making a continuous commitment to the environment, social, and governance issues in India. We have expected growth in ESG assets as a global investors are also prioritizing sustainability projects in their portfolios. So there is we can say, the pressure from the international investors or commercial bodies which invest in India heavily, that they are also seeking that the Indian companies invest in the ESG projects. Growth in the carbon markets, carbon trading. India is also planning a domestic carbon market in its recent Energy Conservation Amendment Act 2022, which will allow the industry to trade emission reduction certificates and promote energy efficient services. Now, there is a boost of green fintechs in India. Digital platforms, green fintech companies are developing digital platforms for green lending. Of course, green lending is nothing but giving loans and advances to the projects which are committing themselves to the renewable or green targets or carbon offsetting targets. Now, technology had also, when we are talking about fintech, we are talking about the technologies like integration of artificial intelligence, blockchain technology in sustainability reporting issues. And of course, SMEs, MSMEs are also paying their ways in carbon footprint tracking. Not only the government sector, in the recent past, as we had seen in the earlier slide, the private sectors are also gaining much momentum, like Tata Power, Adani Green, JSW Energies. They are also committing themselves for the renewable and green technology projects. We are not only taking equity, but also loans in the form of green bonds, sustainability linked loans to expand the corporate bond market. Financial institutions are also introducing much more green loan projects for the retailer customers. Now, there is a need of the hour to strengthen the public and private partnerships, that is the combined effect of the private corporates and the government sector, to develop such projects like renewable energy projects, renewable energy parks, electric mobility center, sustainable urban development projects, and of course the government and the private sector are joining hands for the same. International bodies, international corporations from World Bank, Asian Development Bank, GCFs are also encouraged in India. India is actually gaining a collaboration with these foreign institutions, global institutions. We are attracting, Indian corporates are also attracting FDIs. Foreign companies are also investing in India in the form of FDI in green projects through clear policies and transparent standards. So with this, I conclude my presentation, and I am sure that the participants had gained some knowledge about how the Indian corporates are raising funds for the sustainable and green projects. Sir, Shailendra sir, Gajanan sir, this was all from my side.
Yes, there are few questions
Yes,
in
yes, sir.
chat box. If you could see, Mr. Malik, you
I think one question I can see, only one question I can see, that is, how does inadequate infrastructure in smaller city limit the feasibility of green investment? See, as we are talking about the green investment, of course, there will be challenges. There are challenges. Theoretical discussion and practical implementation both are class apart. Smaller, not only in smaller cities, if we are talking about tier 1 city also, then tier 2, then tier 3, it requires, again, we are talking, that's why we are talking that it is a long-term commitment by not only the Indian government, but the international bodies as well. We are talking about the 2030 mission, 2050 mission, or 2070 vision, right? The ultimate vision of 2070 itself shows that that we as government, whether national or international, are aware of the fact that the systematic and phase wise execution of these projects will require time and effort. We will start with the tier 1 cities, then to tier 2, then to the tier 3, and of course the smaller city infrastructure will also be sooner or later be having a significant impact, provided that the Indian government, the Indian bodies, and the tier 1, tier 2, and ultimately tier 3 cities and the corporates working therein ensure a continuous commitment and have faith in the vision of 2070 or 2030 taken in the Paris Agreement, or as defined by the RBI or SEBI framework. Right? Ganesh Suthar, if that solves your query.
Yes, I hope it has answered the question which was asked by participant.
Yes, sir.
And if any other participant wishes to ask any question, he or she is most welcome. Yeah. Yeah, certainly,
You're welcome.
certainly.
Yeah, you're welcome, Ganesh. Any other doubt or query if we can discuss?
So within 1 or 2 minutes, we will be starting with our next session.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so the next session will be taken by Dr. Mayank Tiwari, and I hope Dr. Mayank Tiwari is there in meeting. Sir, are you there so that we can start with your session?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
So Dr. Mayank Tiwari is with us, and he will be taking the session on green marketing, a very important and very required, topic to be discussed in this FDP on green economy. So before Dr. Mayank Tiwari starts his presentation, let me share with all participants a brief profile of Dr. Mayank Tiwari. Dr. Mayank Tiwari is a seasoned marketing professional, and he has more than 20 years of experience across leading multinational organizations. Throughout his career, he has excelled in diverse marketing roles, driving strategy, branding, below the line initiatives, digital communication, and customer engagement across various markets. Dr. Tiwari holds a PhD in management from MVGU Jaipur and MBA from Manipal University, Karnataka, and he has a certification course in digital marketing strategies from IIM Raipur. His strong academic foundation is further strengthened by rich practical insight gained by him through senior leadership position in industry. He has contributed significantly to the marketing ecosystem through his work with top companies such as Reliance Communications, Cipla, Videocon, Transition Holding. Currently, he is serving as the Chief Marketing Manager at Avas Finances, where he leads national level marketing strategy, brand development, and field communication initiatives. Dr. Tiwari is an active contributor to academic and professional knowledge. He has published 2 books and more than 4 research papers in reputed national journals. Dr. Tiwari is also deeply passionate about mentoring. Over the past decade, he has trained numerous interns and young marketing professionals, helping them build practical skills and industry ready capabilities. Dr. Tiwari is known for his eagerness to learn, innovate, and share knowledge. Dr. Mayank Tiwari brings a unique blend of industry expertise and academic depth to every session, making him an inspiring, insightful, and impactful guest lecturer. So yes, sir, I have received the communication from you.
Yeah, I'm not able. Sorry, there are some technical issues, so I'm not able to share my presentation. So do you have? I think I already shared to you.
Yes. It will take just few minutes, sir,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I'll arrange it for you.
Okay, fine.
Just
By the
give
time
me
you just
few
start,
minutes.
so just to start with, so without wasting any time.
Yes,
So
you can. Meanwhile, you can start,
yeah.
and I'll be arranging that presentation.
Okay. So good evening all dignitary for the university and the participant. Okay. So today we will be discussing about the green marketing and driving business through sustainability. So basically, hello, yeah, am I audible? Anybody
Yes,
can
yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, fine. So, since Selen sir already explained about me, like what currently what I'm doing, and I have a total of 20 years plus experience in marketing domain. I work with several organizations. Um, uh, but I would say one thing, like I'm a practical, practitioner marketer, right? So when you do, when you studied something in your books and you get an opportunity to just execute these your, philosophy or your concept on the ground, and you evaluate their performance, and that's a really a great experience. So I'm a practitioner marketer, and uh, continuously I do a lot of experiences, right? The way in the laboratory scientists do research, and a lot of experiment also is being done. Similarly, in case with me, so I do also a lot of experience I do. So in the next 90 minutes probably is that what I am going to cover in this green marketing. So my topic, my presentation would be around marketing, right? So green marketing, which so I will not get into the more detailing part of this because since all my other, even I have also attended few lectures where I've seen like a lot of technical information, technical discussion was been shared. A very insightful information being shared. So I will talk about more into the marketing part, right? So let's say in the marketing, so the core principle and what is the green marketing. So everybody knows it. Maybe you might be knowing about the the definition of the green marketing. However, these definitions are being coined, I mean, from various philosophers, various agencies, international recognized agencies. So they do have their own definitions, right? So I'm going to discuss all these things for the slides and the real examples and the practices, right? So when you do experience thing, as I already explained earlier, like when you think, when you do, let's say, take example of 4P of marketing, right? Like you might have all studied in your management courses, right? But when you observe, when you practically examine things, so then that's a scenario might differ, right? The same case over here. Another part is this how sustainability drive business performances, right? I mean, when you talk about sustainability, it means it is directly linked to the business. So green marketing is not all about, this is not a non-profit. Of course, it is a profitable business. I mean, without profit, without funds, no organization can survive, right? So, and the opportunities for innovation and policy alignment. So what all current Indian policies that we have, and what all policies are beneficial, are benefiting to the society, public at large. Uh, so by end of this, like, real practices, real examples of, I will explain to you guys. Uh, so on the other hand, we say, Selen sir, are you able to share the slide, because there are some technical glitch in my system.
No,
So
no, sir.
yeah,
Actually, I am downloading the slide. So just give me 2 minutes.
okay, not an issue.
Yeah.
And by
Yeah,
the time,
actually, I was on
yes,
phone.
yes, take your time, and take your time. So that is why I'm saying that I'm going to share you very experiential marketing, green marketing, right? Where you will have so banks, I have seen even also whenever anything's being coined, anything new thing or new concept idea or new technology comes, right? It has to be verified by our international bodies, right? For example, the American Marketing Association, right? So any technology or any marketing definition you comes from or has to be verified from these agencies. So why sometimes I also raise question why we do not have our own nationwide or Indian marketing associations which basically validate the things, right? So any which ways, uh, so they emphasize basically, so as per the India American Market Association, uh, gives you one of the earliest and the most acceptable definition, right? They emphasize more on the green marketing is all about promoting products that are environmentally safe, right? So when you are promoting any product, it should be environmentally safe. Not even not the way when you procure, since since the procurement of the raw material till the process, till the packaging, till the product is being sold. It should be a environmentally safe, including a processed product, right? So this including a modification product, improving production processes, redesigning packaging, right? And ensuring eco-friendly advertising, right? Where you also uh, communicating through this various media, social media, probably media channels, right? You make sure that you provide the right and accurate information with the supporting the data. And if you are saying something about the data, you should have some mention somewhere in the in this communication that this is backed up by this data, right? So and so. Okay. So another United Nations environmental program, they also coined this terminology, right? The green marketing, or to them as how companies communicate the environmental benefits of product and services. They also highlighted responsible consumption and sustainable development, right? And similarly for the US Environmental Protection Agency, we call it the US EPA. I mean, very important. Even though even our uh, I have also seen when I was a product manager, when in a water purifier company, where we used to get the certification from the US EPA, right? While sitting in India, and you have to depend upon some and a third party agency who's based out in US, and they have to verify you that your process, your system, your mechanism is good to market, go to market, right? This is unfortunate. any which ways, but we are bound to do it. We were bound to do it. So US EPA says definition is very, outcome driven. They define the green marketing as a promoting products that reduce harm to the environment and support eco-friendly consumer choices. So there and there, they are just, their definition are basically, uh, few are focusing on product, or if you are focusing on, consumer centric process. But the locus of, the focus area is basically ultimately it should be a environmental friendly. It should not harm the environment at any which ways, right? This is the center point, right? And what the prominent philosopher, says about this green marketing, right? So Ken Pidey says that, he described that green marketing as a holistic management process, right? And it focuses on identifying and satisfying customer and social needs sustainability, right? So he is emphasizing on sustainability, okay, which means this should be a, business driven, of course, it should be profitable and it should be sustainable. Then only it remains sustainable, right? And his definition balances profitability with social responsibility, of course. So when you talk about social responsibilities, uh, uh, every individual has a responsibility, or probably that is why government are focusing more on this, to make sure that these organizations should follow the guideline of this, these to save this, to ensure the green product or green marketing, right? uh, so another, father, we call him as the father of, marketing, Dr. Philip Kotler. His definition, he defined this green marketing, he emphasizing on the sustainable marketing, creating values. So he always focusing on the creating value, and whatever you are, maybe you're in the production process, or maybe you are a, service industry, maybe you are in the manufacturing, maybe you are, delivery industry, but you make sure what value you are creating to the system, right? That matter a lot, right? So what value create value and preserving environmental and consumer well-being. So he's talking about the environmental and the consumer well-being, right? He also highlighted the marketing and support long-term social benefits, right? Not a short term. So he's focusing on the long-term benefit. See, in the gain marketing, or probably, when you're talking about, so it is a slow and steady process, right? But that is the need of our nowadays, right? If we won't wake up now, probably it will be a tougher time for us in future, right? So this is all about, the these philosophers say that what, our international recognized, agency, they have already coined about the terminology green marketing in different ways, right? But the locus of control is locus of focus area is basically the ultimately goal is to how you can reduce the, carbon emission, and ensuring the sustainable, profitable business, ensuring the using the green product for the future, right? So ultimate goal is to reduce the carbon emission from the environment so that we can survive in a longer period of time, right? So what is the principles? When you talk about any defining any things, as you already have come from, academia, and so any concept or any terminology coined, right? So there are some principles of the right. So what is the authenticity? So all environmental claims that must be genuine and backed by the data. As I already explained earlier, certification, scientific validation. So when you are claiming anything that, that is going to help the environment, and it should be backed by the data, and data has to be supported by your certification and all that you need to make sure. And the consumer today are quick to identify greenwashing. So what is greenwashing? So we'll explain. In the further slide, though it is still not able to do, but I'll explain to you what is greenwashing, right? So authenticity build long-term trust. So greenwashing is nothing but, when any marketer or probably a company is misleading, right? Misleading information that this is environmental friendly product, but this is not actually. There is no data, to support this, right? That is called greenwashing, right? So the misleading information, not scientifically backed data, and you are claiming that this is a basically a environmental friendly product. Nowadays, a lot of startups starting putting in their communication that we are uh, environmental friendly. We are producing environmental friendly product, but ultimately they are using PET bottles. So when you are using any plastic in your product, that will not remain as a environmental friendly. Automatically you are involving a material which is basically harm to the environment, right? So another is sustainability. The principle is towards sustainability. The product should be genuinely reduce environmental impact across the life cycle, production, usage, and disposals, right? Real sustainability must go beyond symbolic gestures, right? And the transparency. So whatever you are doing, whatever you are communicating, and the brand must be open about the material, sourcing, packaging, carbon impact, and the waste management. Transparency helps consumer make informed, eco-friendly, and decision maker, right? I just so due to some network issues, just I'll try a one minute. Okay. So am I audible now? Anybody can just
Yes, sir, you are audible.
okay, fine. So one is the transmission of education. So a green marketing must empower customers with the knowledge. When customer understands sustainability, they make better choices and the market shift accordingly. So educating the customer is very very important. And fifth is the continuous improvement. So consistency is always a winning strategy, right? As you say that in the uh, continuous is the ultimate growth, right? So continuous effort is the ultimate growth. The same case is over here. The continuous improvement. Sustainability is a journey. Companies should continuously improve efficiency, reduce waste, and enhance their environmental performances. This principle keep brand relevant and responsible, right? So this has to be done in a continuous approach, right? Not simply you doing that and you are just making or compromising with the process or probably compromising with the quality of the product. It should not be like that. It should be a uniform. It should be consistent. It should be continuous, right? And the eco labeling and certification. So what is a green market? Let's discuss about green marketing strategies. When you talk about the green strategies, right, then we're talking about the long-term strategy, right? It's not about like strategies which are being used, but a strategy which will help and drive this green marketing as a terminology to help and reduce the carbon emission, right? So one is the eco labeling and the certification, right? So these are steps. So eco labeling build a trust, right? So authentic certification like MSC, Energy Star, or a fair rate, help customer identity, genuine sustainable product. They reduce doubts and prevent the greenwashing. So as I already told you, like ego leveling and certification, if you include in the print. Okay, thank you so much, Silencer.
Sorry for
Yeah.
interruption, Mayank sir. Now
Yes.
the presentation is visible. You can
Okay,
just
fine. Yeah.
tell me
Yeah.
where to move the slide.
Okay. So you may just go ahead because already I've covered.
Yes, sir.
Can you reduce the size of this?
Yes, sir.
Just so
Yes,
that
sir.
okay. Yeah. Just increase a bit more. Make it 100% now.
Yes, sir.
So okay. That's great. That's great.
Yes,
So
sir.
I was talking about this only. Just wait. How? Oh, I just switch off the camera. Otherwise, no, it will. Okay, just okay. Is it okay? Fine. So I was talking about the authenticity, right? The principle I was talking about,
Yes, sir.
the authenticity. I think sustainability, the transparency, and educating the customer. The continuous. I already explained to you. Just go further, please. Next slide. So everybody would be knowing it, right? The 4P of marketing, only I mean the marketing nowadays, the 7P when you can add service marketing in that. But 4P always a real hero all the time when you talk about the basic marketing principle, basic marketing terminology, right? So in the 4P marketing also, that is the thing, special on there's a product, price, place, and promotion. So the perspective and examples I put it right in the way. So product is designed with the recycled or biodegradable material. So you that make sure you should design your product in such a way so it should be recycled, and it should not increase the carbon emission. It should reduce them, right? So for example, when you use this bamboo toothbrush, organic cotton t-shirt, you might have seen even though you might have visit or in the customer market where you might have seen these bamboo made product, but unfortunately these products are basically more into the unorganized market. So therefore they do not many brand came and launched the product, but they could not, I mean, successful on this. But there are a number of reasons, right? So we'll not get into this the reasons why they could not successful. But what I'm talking about is that when you design a recycled that product should be in this perspective, right? And the pricing that reflects the life cycle value, saves energy or reduce waste. So that you make sure the pricing should be. Of course, generally you might have seen like no, when you pricing is at the higher end, right? Even though customers are willing to pay for higher pricing. And also when you claiming oh these are basically environmental friendly products, so customers are willing to pay. I mean, in the further slides, I will explain to you the recent uh, a research organization. They conducted a research, and they got to know like you know you know somehow 60% of the customers they were willing to pay extra money for these kind of product, right? Because they want to feel good. They want to feel good by contributing in the society, contributing in this campaign, right? So this is a feel good factor. And the pricing, the price space, then comes as a place the short supply chains to cut emission. So when you have a longer procedure, you just cut down the process as per your so that you make sure that the quality should not be compromised. Okay. And the promotion is like how you're going to promote this. Now, of course, when I was talking about like you should not be green washing. Of course, when you're promoting a product, focus on eco benefits and transparency, right? So whatever you're claiming in the advertisement, whatever you're claiming in the communication, that you make sure this should be backed by the data, right? So made from 100% recycled plastic bottles, right? So these are basically a research conducted, and yeah, that's further. Yeah, please. So understand the green consumer. So today the consumers are more informed and more socially conscious. Nowadays, like how much time we consume in scrolling reels, right? So a lot of data we are consuming, a lot of data which is through the AI. Our uh, data, they are basically monitoring your activities in the social media platform, and according to your wish and according to your likes or dislikes, they are pushing relevant reels to you, right? Same case over here. So nowadays consumers are more informed, more socially conscious about it. They expect brand to demonstrate purpose, not just profits, right? So they just brand to demonstrate purpose, not just profit. And in India, 2024, the one Deloitte sustainability survey they have conducted, right? I already explained. Now the 60% of this, you know, millennials are willing to pay for the eco-friendly brands. Even you also you might have visited, let's say, Big Bazaar is no more in the system, but this another one, retail chain, uh, uh, DMart, right? So they also offer like some 20 rupees paying extra. They can offer you like the jute bag, right? The environmental friendly bag. They are not offering polythene and all. So this is the right way of doing. I mean, they are also getting profit through it, but you are a customer also feeling fine, feeling great, right? While I'm contributing in the society, and not using the plastic and all. Okay, yeah, next slide, please. Okay, so key drivers are for the green purchase behavior. So you already studied like you might have studied like the consumer buying process, right? So consumer buying process, but in the green marketing, like these are four major aspects that I should discuss with you guys. Like for example, the one is the awareness of the climate issue. Of course, so these are key drivers that basically create the triggers to the consumer to for the buying to they just triggers have been created to just they are bound to purchase or they feel like they should purchase it, right? And the brand test and certification. So, for example, the reputed brand with the proper supported data is proper supported by their whatever they're claiming, they should be supported by the certification with the from the reputed agency, and the product performance also will is a key driver. And the fourth is emotional satisfaction from the contributing to the planet, right? So sir, if you have access of YouTube in your system, so I want to play a video because it's in this due to certain uh, technical reason I cannot play this video. If it is possible, then it's okay. Otherwise, we'll go ahead as per this.
Yes, sir, I can. Just give me
Okay,
1
then
minute.
I'll tell you once it will come like that. That slide will come, and then we'll discuss about this.
Yeah, sure,
In these cases, yeah.
sure.
So till now, am I clear anything or I mean not? I think sounding boring. I'm sure that because I am like trying to make you more. It's not a traditional because I am from the industry, right? So I do see marketing in this way. When we have a one-to-one conversation, then I see like I just visualize this marketing or these any kind of strategies, as a consumer, right? If I were a consumer, okay, thank you so much. Yeah. So please go ahead. Next slide. So as I already explained that green market stands for sustainable packaging, the eco labeling and certification already explained that they should be supported by the data. If you are claiming anything, which should be supported by data with a certification, that is good to go. And the sustainable packaging, use biodegradable recycle on packaging, cause-related marketing. So, I mean, this is linked sale to the environmental causes. One tree planted, one purchase, right? Similarly, if you ITC, they have launched one campaign called because ITC, one brand is owned by ITC, which is basically into the paper industry or this, the stationery industry, right? ITC notebooks that also come, in the market, right? Available in the market. So they come, they had launched for one campaign called One Tree, One Purchase, right? So they are saying they were claiming that this is reusable and all. So they launched this campaign, and of course, and reusable of the old books, old notebooks. So they started a campaign. Now you can donate these books, donate these uh, unused notebooks to the non-profit organizations, so that it could be utilized for the poor children, those who cannot afford these stuff, right? So digital storytelling, when you are talking, when you are scrolling or reels, you might have noticed that when any interactive or any uh, um, uh, social hookups, right? I mean, which is basically make you to just continue with the reel, right? Same case over here, right? Share the sustainability journey through various videos on social media. The green partnership, the collaboration with the various NGOs, those who are working in the same domain area, and star ecosystem is to start up to amplify the impact. So you can just double down, triple, and just 10 times of this impact. Yeah, next slide. So why these are firms are organizations using green marketing? So one is the opportunity. So about 25% of the Indian consumer prefer eco-friendly product and 28% are health conscious. So of course these studies that have conducted in various time frame and with the various kind of various quantity of sample size, right? So of course that might be vary, but the ultimately the findings remain the same, that the majority of the majority of the more than 30%, more than around 30% is a bigger number, right? So creating a sustainable and growing market segment for green product and service, there are ample of number of opportunity for the green product in the industry. Social responsibility, of course, companies are increasingly adopting environmental friendly practices in creating sustainable with profitability, right? Many follow the extended product producer responsibility (EPR), and of course nowadays companies are bound to pay, bound to just follow the guideline of CSR, because they have to invest, they have to spend on this CSR activities 2% of their 3 years of cumulative profit, right? So the government pressure also there. So government policies, the government has introduced strict regulation to protect public health and the environment. So policies such as the plastic bag bans and smoke-free public zones aim to reduce the harmful product. But unfortunately, I really miss. When government start putting pressure on these poor roadside vendors, no, they basically they do not have any policy for this. Sometimes they wake up and they just simply start campaigning, and they start penalizing these vendors. But ultimately there is no certain guideline from the government. There is no certain rules and regulations from the government. Still I have seen the food vendors, they are just selling their vegetables or any stuffs, just using these plastic bags, right? So this is of course the plastic is not going to be recycled any which way. Everybody knows it, right? So these should be strictly taken care of, and of course government should have some strict guidelines on this, I think. Right, next. Okay, so competition, so competitive pressure. So of course nowadays, in this red ocean, right? There are a lot of competition in the market, of course, and companies often adopt the green practices to maintain competitiveness. So this is basically also using the competitive advantage, right? So when one firm highlighted its environmental initiatives and other follow, lending the entire industry to reduce harmful environmental impacts, right? So this is all about competition, of course. Since I am again repeating, this is not a non-profit, this is absolutely a profitable, sustainable. When we talk about sustainable, it should always profitable business, right? It should not be, but a profitable business with noble cause, right? So cost reduction, of course, reducing waste can significantly lower operating costs. So many organizations also symbolic partnership where one company waste become another raw material, right? Creating efficiency and saving. For you can take an example of tire companies, right? Tire manufacturing. So even though small, they tire, the old tire being sold to the small vendors, those who are into manufacturing of small equipment, or probably small tools, like which are being used for, like even the mobile, in the television and all. So this being recycled, these product, right? Next. Yeah, next. So so the golden rule of green marketing. So know your customer first, of course. And to knowing your customer, you will only get to know like what is your customer profiling persona, right? If your customer understand and care about the environment issue, your product. If your customer not aware about your your TG is basically least bothered about the environment. No. So what is the use of launching a product which is environment friendly, but to you you might be knowing it and it's going to be fail, right? So you before launching anything or before doing anything, you should know your customer first. One very good book of Dr. Ramcharan, he's a very good, great philosopher, right? You should also read this book, Know Your Customer. There's a good book title. Very, maybe around 150 pages book, but very beautifully written. Before get you into this, new conceptualization of your product design or something, right? First, you know your target audiences. First, you know your customer, right? So you should know your customer persona first. Educate the customer. Explain not only what they are doing, what you are doing, but why it matters to you for environment. That also you need to communicate in a storytelling format, right? And whichever your customer want to prefer, right? Be genuine and transparent. Reassure the buyer. The maintain the product quality. Customer must trust the product, perform effectively, and consider pricing. So pricing also plays a very important role. But in this case, you can take an age of this because of pricing. If you put it at a higher side also, even though customer is willing to pay, but you need to just conduct a pilot survey or pilot research, right? Whether what pricing you should put your product, so that at least your product will be sustainable, right? Next. Next. So already explained. So I will just skip this model, this 4PO marketing. So because since we have already limited time, and I have also, so basically a 4PO of green marketing, a product, price, place, promotions, already explained in the previous slide. So this is what we can take example of the vehicle, right? Now it is the talk about the product, for example. Eco-friendly packaging, McDonald's shifts from the polished to the paper, on the green label and the certified product backed by the credible standards, organic product with the premium quality appeal, and the rental loan made models, right? Whereas for example, toy liabilities and to reduce the consumption, right? Product must still meet the or expect the customer quality expectation and be thoroughly tested, right? The place is basically in store promotions, display using recycled material and strategic product placement before reinforce the credibility. The pricing already explained to you the fuel efficient vehicle, the cost saving, water efficient equipment, non hazardous materials means it's not harmful to the customer, and promotion is basically the credibility is the key, right? So when you're communicating anything, it should be backed by the data. When you backed by the with the certifications, right? Then only you can, if you can able to communicate better, and that can ensure your trust is built, right? Next. Yeah. So here are the traditional and the green marketing. So I mean, of course, uh, uh, so if I talk about the traditional and green marketing, so traditional goal is basically the customer satisfaction, the organization goal, of course, and the green marketing, the customer satisfaction, organization goal, and the ecosystem compatibility, right? So one goal already added in this, right? So when you have goals, you decide the goal as a marketer, okay, uh, then you have to ensure that you have to keep in mind this environmental safety criteria as well, right? And the decision making frame of references, framed thinking, not boundary spanning, decision making with long term orientation that is added, right? Similarly, the philosophical biases may like ecosystem of physical limiting faster, eco cost must be paid, and the ecological accountability and responsibility and the limited products risk in the traditional marketing, local, regional, national, no underpaid ecological cost. Here you can see the product risk and the global, international, and the full accountable of all ecological, right? So these are the basically when you compare with the traditional and the green marketing. So green marketing is of course a part of the traditional marketing. You talk about that ultimate goal is the same, but of course you have an added responsibility being a environmental friendly, right? Make sure you should not doing greenwashing, right? You should backed by your communication, the marketing communication which will be backed by the credible data. Okay. And you should provide information to the customer with the authenticity, with the support, right? Yeah, next. So just give me a time actually. I just towards yeah. Yeah, so this you can skip. This can skip because this is a just yeah. So that there are 10 ways to go green, right? When we talk about the green, uh, uh, you know, uh, so how we can do like when we talk about the green marketing? Yeah, this slide only. Yeah, yes. So unplugging device when not in use, when you are not using your light and all, you just switch off your lights. Use less water. Since we are in Rajasthan, you have to be careful about it. Switch to even you might have watched this ad of Piyush Pandey where very beautifully explained about the importance of uh, water that was so just that was being uh, picturized in the desert basically to communicate to the consumer, to communicate to the target audiences like how much water is important. I mean in a certain part of area like uh, you know uh, uh, people are wasting the water and just taking shower, right? And where other part of India there is no water for your just to survive, right? That is very good ad just directed by Piyush Pandey. So I just putting this example. and then choose minimal packaging, right? And so just switch to CFL and LED lighting. So in the olden times, we used to purchase the bulbs and all. Now that completely shift to the LED or LED bulbs like nowadays. So the lifespan also that has been increased, right? You have observed this, right? And choose the minimal packaging. So minimal packaging, which means when you are talking about minimal packaging, which means you are using less plastic, because of course without plastic, without use of plastic, you cannot ensure the the life cycle, life span of the product will remain in longer period of time or not, but it should be longer, so that you should, I mean, you're bound to use this plastic. So till now there's no hard foolproof research conducted where without plastic your product will be, the lifespan of the product will be increased, and the drive less to save fuel. So nowadays, EV motorcycle or EV two-wheelers are mushrooming in the industry, driving less to save fuel and walk more, recycle regularly. Nowadays, I mean, companies also conducting, and promoting even for the internal customers, you should use bicycle, right, to just save environment, right? So that is to a dual, uh, benefit. One is you will be a heavier life, and another one is, of course, you are not using motorbikes, so of course you are any which way saving fuel. And shift to the solar or renewable energy. So nowadays, we are shifting to the solar energy. Nowadays, I mean, if you invest, let's say, 2.2 or 2.5 lakhs in a one go for any purchase, any solar plant, right, for your for the house, for individual house, and within 1.5 year, no, it will be free of cost. So afterwards, your investment cost will be, I mean, that will be 100% return back, right? And of course, afterwards, you have not to pay any electricity bill further, right? And spread awareness and encourage others, right? So my just my thought is talking because of I had around 5 to 6 meeting in a day. So I'm sorry if I am sounding so a little tired, right? So I have that I am able to communicate so that you can understand what I am trying to convey the message through this conceptual presentation. Yeah. Next. Yeah. So the key challenges. So these are the key challenges. That since these are new concept, so green marketing is sometimes people heard some first time, so they feel like, oh, green marketing maybe a new concept or something. What does it mean, green marketing, right? So this is a new concept, so the acceptability is less, right? Urban customer are becoming aware, but but the rural customer are basically not aware about. Still, they are exploring. Like they are not well informed. Uh, Compared to the urban customers, right? Required large scale education and awareness building. So of course, uh, we require a lot of mass marketing for this. The higher cost, of course, there's higher cost, but still after seeing the result of the recent surveys, no, that people are willing to pay for this. That's a good thing, right? So developing green product and technologies requires significant R&D and promotion investment. So of course, to developing green products is not a easy task, right? When you have to spend a lot of money, a lot of R&D, you have to spend a lot of R&D, right? So ultimately, organizations need to show their patience level. I mean, that's a patient check, investment as well, right? So when you invest any startup, no, you expect now at least within 6 months you can cross the ensure the break even, no, and you can start earning and starting profit, start making profits. But in the case of green marketing, you need to have up so your patience, and because it takes time and a slowly and steadily process. Uh, of course, the product pricing remain not the usually that is basically at the higher end, and the convincing to the consumer is not so easy, right? So nowadays, AICT have like say sponsoring this event. So we all are maybe a target audience. They are brainstorming these idea. We are discussing this topic, right? We are discussing what all how we can improve this. So maybe this kind of a mass awareness campaign also we can consider, right? So next. Yeah. So the suggestion and recommendation. So I will just take it through this suggestion. So the green marketing is still evolving, right? Nowadays, green marketing is still evolving, and extensive research is required to unlock this full potential. Of course, it has a lot of brainstorming need to be done, but only simply talking will not help us out. Of course, we need to ensure the constructive action on this, right? First, we need to change our behavior. For example, whenever we are visiting to the market, we make sure you keep always the jute bag in your car, or a scooter, right? So this habit we need to develop. So then only you will ensure that the charity starts from your own home, right? That's a gold saying. And the consumer must be made more aware about the benefits of green product and the environmental risk of the conventional alternatives. Ensure consumer clearly understand the environmental issue your product addresses, right? And use green marketing campaign and green advertising to educate and the influence consumer behavior, right? Uh, so use green marketing campaign. Nowadays, you also observe like so many social media influencer, right? They are mushrooming. They are doing very good. I mean, they are really influence. They are actually influencer, right? They really set the narratives, right? If anything, right? When they promote any brand, then that 30 seconds video, right? They communicate very well, right? Even sometimes, even I also use this micro influencers, right? For when I was working with my last assignment, I assign this, I identified as the micro influencers, no, and they promoted my product, no, my product become a hero, I'm telling you. So the micro influencers also, they are playing a very, very important role nowadays, because most of the, population, right? Most of the, public are using mobile phone, even they are carrying two mobile phones in their pockets, right? So no matter how much somebody is earning, but what matters is like, what is the need of our hour, right? How much data they are consuming, right? How much time they are spending with their mobile. Even sometimes, even without mobile, they cannot even uh, you know survival is very, very difficult. Even you can just trial one day for you just switch off your mobile for one day. Let it be a Sunday, right? And you see the eagerness, the hypertension load that will create a lot of issues with you also, no? Because we are used to for this, right? And motivate consumers to switch brand to pay premium to for generate alternatives, of course, and then empower consumer by making them feel that their choices create real environmental impact, encouraging them to prefer green product, right? So you should in the marketing communication, no, you should tell a story to the consumer that why you should use a green product. I mean, so you are a contributor, right? So you should motivate them also, as if you should, salute them also, that they are contributing to the society for the benefit of society, right? And that prevent false claims, that already discussed, right? Enforcing transparency, to the maintain the trust and the green product, and government involvement is crucial, right? Very, very crucial. I have seen even you guys also, I've noticed it. When government officials are strict, right? There is a hierarchy, right? So government rule by with the help of so many stakeholders, right? So every stakeholder should, I mean, their ultimate authority, who's the head of department of this division, no, sometimes they do active, sometimes they do not active. So there should be a consistency in their actions, right? It should be a mandate to all the society, okay, all the public, okay, to make sure they should not use plastic in their daily life, right? So there should be a law. Then only we can ensure this. It should be doable. And the collaboration with the among consumer, corporation, and government is essential to minimize environmental damage. It is not sufficient to green product along consumers are also expect, right? And the affordability and the support in reducing their own environmental footprint. And green marketing remains low priority for many businesses, and it is under leveraged USP, means leveraged unique selling proposition, right? So in terms of green marketing, why the low priority? Because of course it's not so easy to execute these and easy to you know ensure the profitability of this product, right? So there are, when you are active in a marketing communication, people start purchasing your product. But when you stop putting money in the marketing campaign, no, they'll start your sale will not be happen. Another part is, other issue is majority of the product, right? Majority of the unorganized market. This is highly unorganized market actually. So no brand has created any footprints in this domain area actually. And the last is the targeting well-designed green marketing initiatives can significantly influence consumer perception and market adoption. Of course, so well-designed green marketing initiative is a very vague term, I would say. Whenever I mean the government should uh, you should provide incentive for for this usability, right? Or probably strict rules should be implemented, right? Then only we can ensure that the plastic should be removed from our daily life. Otherwise, it is not so easy. Okay, next slide. So so this is slide number. So just give me some time. Actually, my thought. So you can just, by the way, uh,
Sir, this is 23 number.
23 number, no? Okay. So this is an example of the global example. I'll start with the global example. Yeah. Yes,
you can you can turn the slide back if Dr.
Okay, I will
Mahesh
skip
wants
if it is
to.
needed actually. I think already. Okay,
Okay,
fine.
yeah.
So this I'll explain in short actually, so that it will also save a time. I'll focus on the briefly, not detailed, right? So the Patagonia, basically, the Don't Buy This Jacket is very famous campaign, right? In 2020, 2011, right? This encouraged consumer to repair and reuse this campaign, right? So the Patagonia made headline in 2020, 2011 with their bold campaign, Don't Buy This Jacket. The message encouraged consumer to repair, reuse, and reduce consumptions instead of buying a new product unnecessary, right? And this campaign is a perfect example of putting sustainability ahead of sales, right? Of course, the commitment, it is basically they donate 1% of their total sales to the environmental organization every year. So just a CSR, but it's built into one of the core of their business model, right? And the transparency of the supply chain practices, this Patagonia maintains a highly transparent supply chain. They openly share information about the sourcing, labor condition, and environmental. So they might have not build the business or probably made the losses, but the campaign was very successful. Okay, next. Yeah, next. So this is a global example from this IKEA, because another powerful global example of green marketing is IKEA, one of the largest furniture brand. This basically incorporates renewables, recycle, and responsibly sourced material in large portion of steel furniture. This commitment reduce environmental impact and set a strong industry standard for sustainable manufacture, right? So, Ikigai is a long-term sustainability roadmap called People and Plant Positive that aims for 100% renewable energy uses by 2030, right? This includes the renewable electricity store, warehouse, and manufacturing facilities. So it also invites heavily the solar and the wind energy project worldwide. This approach shows how sustainability can be embedded at every level, from the sourcing to the production to the retail, right? So that is what their USP was. And the IKEA demonstrated the sustainability is not just an initiative, right? It can become the core of brands, global identity, and competitive advantage, as I already explained in the past time. Next. So this is a very iconic one. ITC, everybody knows about it. So actually, how ITC diversified, their businesses from the starting from the tobacco till personal care. Even I also got a chance to complete my summer internship, ITC. So very great organization, and how they have diversified, right, from the business to business. They understood like the sustainability. Of course, they are still the profit making businesses from is a tobacco business, but they have diversified in hotels, in personal care. That's to ensure that they should have a business ecosystem in every domain, right? Uh, so uh, So let's look at the strong Indian example of green marketing, ITC Limited, right? ITC is one of the few global companies that is both carbon positive and water positive, meaning they conserve more carbon and water than consume. This demonstrate a sustainability at the operational level, not just in marketing, right? ITC market eco-friendly product like recycled paper boards, notebooks, and stationery under their education and paper division. These products are sourced regionally and cater to environmentally conscious consumer, especially in the education sector. So, idea shows that the sustainability can become a long-term strategic advantage, right, for Indian company when embedded into the both operations and product offering, right. Next, so next is basically Tata Power Solar, very Tata Power Solar promotes a renewable energy solution for both household and businesses. So B2C and B2B also they are into. By making solar power more accessible, they encourage clean energy adaptation and reduce dependence on fossil fuel. Uh, their marketing focusing on long-term saving, environmental benefits, and clean energy empowerments. The Himalayan emphasizes on biodegradable packaging and responsible sourcing of herbs. So I would request you all, those who are attending this, this webinar or this online course. I mean, you should also you ask your students to conduct a study on this, right? Or do some secondary research, right? Like the which all the green campaign initiated, right? What was their ultimate outcome? Whether they made the money, whether they lost the money, what they actually uh, ultimately got the output, right? Whether it's a negative or positive. So this kind of project you can give it to your students for further to explore more, right? So the Himalayas, then these examples show that green marketing is not limited to the global giants. I mean, the Indian companies are also embracing sustainability, making green marketing an essential part of Indian business future, but not just a trade, right? Next. So this you can skip down. This because Wipro they already explained. Like this is so we'll skip this. So Awas Green Homes basically is a very since I'm working here in this organization recently, I got an opportunity to attend an e-samvad. When I attended this, I understood the entire concept. Very interesting, right? So Green Samvad campaign basically is an awareness-driven campaign that encourages customers continue. By the way, I would just give you some introduction about the Awas. Awas is basically a affordable housing company, right? We are registered in the stock exchange, right? We are a profitable company. We do have our own CSR foundation, right? Apart from this has been basically as I already a sustainable business campaign. So the Green Samvad is an awareness-driven campaign that encourages customers, communities, and stakeholders to adopt sustainability of practices. Right? It focusing on theme like energy efficiency, water conservation, and green construction material, and the climate resilient living. Right? Why change is needed? I mean, if we talk about we highlighted the realities of extreme heat, rising temperatures, water scarcity, and pollutions, climate change efforts, low income households the most, especially those who cannot afford cooling appliances like AC, right? This is why the sustainable housing is no longer operational. It is essential for the comfort, health, and affordability. Uh, so the impact of on real homes during the heat waves, poorer households suffer the hardest, right? Their homes are not designed to withstand extreme temperature, leading to discomfort and high risk. So, green home practices such as better uh, reflection roofs and efficient material can significantly improve the living condition, right? So, in May 2022, next slide. So, these are the PR you can see. Yeah. So in 2022, Abbas became the first and the only lead gold certified office in Jaipur. Uh, okay, this achievement reflects our commitment to cooperation sustainability. Just hold on. Uh, yeah, and these case studies shows like no. So we have already constructed 500 plus green homes in India. So so these are basically the mandatory guideline for the green homes, right? Wherein you have to ensure that whatever equipment you are using should be 5-star rating, right? So that it should be, energy saving, okay, equipment. It should be there should be in the design, the construction, in the home, green homes, window shading is compulsory, is mandatory. Low flow shower is compulsory, is mandatory. Or reflecting white paint lines are compulsory. Or any one of them, for example, the flush tanks, low flow taps, and the rainwater harvesting is must basically for this. And for the income group, basically this is for the low LIGs, low income group society communities. Therefore, if your family annual income is more than 6 lakh, then any the solar panel or solar water heaters no can be installed, right? These are the guidelines so that when you when you ensuring this greenhouse, we have certain guidelines for this, and there's guidelines are being made, so that no, they should also this should be a environmental friendly kind of, right? Of course. Next. So this is what driving the changes. So you can see like the Green Samvad seminar conducted. This is our campaign. So where we invited our customers, those who are taking loan from us, right? And so even through this campaign, we have already constructed more than 500 green homes in pan India, and that's a really great stories. I mean, even recently I've attended this meeting where around 100 plus customers were being invited, right? I mean, they have shared their story, how they've been, few of them were very fruit vendors, low startup, low startup income group, public. So we do basically offer home loans to those who cannot afford, those who do not have proper documentation. And the best part is this: our NPA is less than 1%, right? When you can compare with the other bank, no, and our NPA is less than 1%. So this is the beauty of this. So this we are going to utilize this. This is very beautiful and very important for the society, for the environment. So we are going to accelerate this campaign for further. Yeah. Next. Yeah. So in this you can see the 500 plus green homes we have already constructed. So around 62 lakhs, the money that we have saved, carbon also emission also we reduced, right? So there are certain factors. Though it was a uh, so if you want to study more about or know about this campaign, you can go to the website www.avas.in, and you can download these this one research report that is published report actually, right? You can also go through the report and you can also be a part of this campaign, right? Yeah, next. Yeah. So I think as you need to just maximize this screen size because I think it's not.
Sir, actually, I will be sharing the slides now because there is some issue at Mr. Malik's end. So I am.
Okay, you sharing by the time I'll continue. I will continue definitely. Yeah. Just hold on. Yeah. Yes. So, yeah. So, so what is the trend basically? When we talk about any marketing terminology, Rono, so we also follow the trend. So, with the by following the trend only, we can ensure our effective communication, and we can reach out to the target audiences or relevant target audiences, right? So, so these are few examples, right? So I will just take you through few examples because the we already we have very limited time to do this. So the one example of the Dower India, right? Dower India, everybody knows it, right? Very famous, brand, and a very old brand as well. So cartoon-free Dabur Red toothpaste. So the impact was that 150 tons paper saved, supporting circular reuse of social impact, removed outer carbon in a Reliance retail store, saved paper redirected to the notebook for the crying support children. So means, see, in the cartoon-free Dabur Red toothpaste, they have actually utilized their recycle the papers, and that was being used by poor children, right? So okay, for the Cry, one of the biggest very famous NGO, with the help of Cry, they have supported two children, and they have just recycled these products into this paper notebooks, and that was a very beautiful campaign design, and that was very beautifully communicated to across. I have also seen this campaign, right? Another is Colgate Palmolive recycled toothpaste tube impact outcome. First mass scale recycled tube transforming oral care packaging, launching recycled tubes with 53 market share, ensuring with the adaptation. So uh, technology to be shared. So what is the outcome is this technology to be shared with the industry, actual to follow by 2025. So these are the campaigns that we have seen and successfully driven, and the recent trend in the green marketing. So what are the leading brands are following these trends, so that no their effective communication they can ensure, they should ensure that their objective of their green goals should be also fulfilled, right? Similarly, for the Procter and Gamble India, they have invested almost 200 crore rupees for environmental sustainability fund, right? So the impact was the boosting innovation under ambitions 2030. That was a campaign for them, and that fund was used to recreate the sustainable solution, right? And with the ecosystem partners. And the drives long-term environment, the impact was the drive long-term environment and a social impact project, right? Yeah, the next. So we'll skip this one. So actual, recycled plastic is smart fill. Uh, the outcome was basically the 1,000 per plus tonners of plastic recycled, refill clutter mainstreamed, and Surf Excel bottle now 50% recycled plastic. So nowadays, Surf Excel are using in the product, the brand called Surf Excel, they are using in their packaging 50% of recycled plastic, 100 million, I mean, recycled bottles produced through this process, right? So these are few examples of trends that already in the market and successfully running by the top leading brand. Next, so one more important is Bamboo India. It's a very famous brand. Just go back. Yeah, Bamboo India affordable bamboo alternatives impact. What was the impact? Does daily use plastic sustainable made mainstream? So Bamboo India, they also come up with uh, the bamboo, every whatever the plastic we use in our daily lives. No, they introduce these products replaced by the bamboo material, right? So they offer the bamboo toothbrushes, earbuds, and gifting items, drive household level plastic reduction, right? So even though my organization also currently, I was told to, concentrate on the, when you have, if we talk about the green uh, campaign, so we should focus on the gifting. When you talk about the gifting, procuring of the gifting items, you should focus on the green items, right? I was told by the management. Okay? Yeah, next. Next. So we'll go a little faster on this. So the government, initiatives of Union Budget 2023. So afterwards, there is no such maybe effective. The law was put on table. The initiative was the net zero by 2017 low carbon development strategy, life for environment. Outcome was the strengthened national directions towards climate residential growth and consumer driven sustainability. The problem with these kind of initiatives, they have a very big data to be studied, right? So the target audiences are very only concentrated on the what the effective communication you can communicate to the consumer in 30 seconds or 10 seconds, right? So this is the this is the era of reels, right? So that's the biggest problem with this kind of campaign. And CNG mandate in 2000 into two since Delhi, right? So Supreme Court directive. So Supreme Court had to intervene in this and to shift all public transport to CNG. Prakriti single-use plastic awareness mascot, right? So that initiative launched by the to promote lifestyle changes for reducing plastic waste. See, I'll tell you, frankly speaking, if you talk about practical thing, right? Lot of initiative government taken, right? But I don't know their initiatives, disappear somewhere in the sky, right? Because of the lack of continuity, the lack of vision, the lack of insurance, lack of consistency. Then all went on toss, right? So there's no effective campaign that was survived till a longer period of time. And when the government replaced, right? Government changes, everything is changed, right? Next. Yeah. We just move fast. Just skip this one. Please skip. They already explained greenwashing. I already explained, correct? So they already explained this. Next. Because it will take time to explain all those. I already covered these topics, right? So I just want to give you one example, a few examples. So I think already covered. So I think we should cover. You can go ahead. Skip. And we'll discuss more into like what the future of green marketing, right? So wow, since many of youngsters are there, right? So they can also pick up this green marketing as their future goals, and they can also work towards this, and they also ensure that what all green marketing initiatives or called green marketing startup ideas they can also adopt, right? So the green marketing impact, right? The environmental materials, the carbon footprint reduction, of course, energy efficiency gain, waste reduction and recycling rates, marketing metrics, sales share of the green product, and the engagement rate on sustainability campaigns. So, so these data is basically the McKinsey, a very renowned agency. They have conducted a case. They have published a case study on this, right? So nowadays companies are using a data analyst, AI tools to just to get this information for their the product launches, right? So question discussion. I think some problem occurred. Just one moment.
Yeah, no. The slide which is on my system is about the discussion questions. Is it visible to you all?
Yes. It is visible. It's visible. Yeah. Thank you. So how how you get Indian SMEs? SME means like small medium enterprises use green marketing without huge budgets, right? See, the leading brand they do have a very deep pockets, right? But the SMEs they do not have funds, right? They are struggling, right? How can they can ensure the green marketing in their organization? And the question two is what role can AICT institution plays in creating a green branding ecosystem, right? Since AICT is also is a partner in this, and of course that initiative of AICT, okay, All India Technical Education is So how can you create? They can create an ecosystem around it, right? Or how can we balance profitability and sustainability in the Indian context? So as I was talking about, that when you're talking about green, of course the profitability is a question, right? Is a critical question to be asked, right? Yeah, next. So we'll discuss one by one cases. I have just prepared in like so that I can discuss in land. Yeah, next slide. So the question arises like this: how the small businesses can survive, right, and how they can implement in their own ecosystem. First of all, they start with the low cost, high impact actions, right? So reduce packaging waste. So using recycled paper, cloth bags, or minimum packaging reduce cost and improve brand perception. For example, Indian local D2C brand, D2C means direct to consumer, like where the Bangalore-based company used plastic-free minimal packaging and grew 33x between 2020 to 23. Right? These are example how a startup of Bangalore-based startup use plastic-free minimal packaging, and they have grown up by 30, 3x, right? 3 times. Shift to the digital first communication. So nowadays, digital is booming, of course. So majority of your target audiences are available on the social media. So WhatsApp catalog, social media, and QR based promotion like reducing print cost. So that statistics is basically 2023. Meta India reports shows 78% of the small businesses increase customer reach to low cost digital tools. So even though during the COVID time also there was shutdown in the market, right? So they how social media boomed. They have the penetration of social media increased by anything, right? And the usability of social media also increased. Data consumption has been increased, right? Source locally, so local sourcing reduced logistic cost and carbon footprint. Example like farm to Tamil, farm to a Tamil cafe in Jaipur and Ahmedabad have reduced supply chain emission by 30%. So this way you can enjoy the next. Yeah, next. Yeah, so how is small business build trust through transparency, zero cost, and collaboration to the green impact. So small business can partner with the local NGOs for the tree plantation, school for awareness drive, and all, right? So this way, even the smaller organization can also be survive, and they can also implement this into their ecosystem. And what is the ultimate, outcome of it, right? Small businesses don't need big budgets, right? They need clarity, transparency, and the local partnership, right? These steps alone can create powerful green marketing outcome. Even I also experience in this when you have a very good tie-up locally, then you have clarity of thought, when you have a transparency system, right? You can also create a very, 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 I mean, a remarkable footprint whenever you with the small budgets also. Okay. And the second question is that's very important for you people actually, that since you are from academia and the what role can be, educational institution play in shaping a sustainable brand, right? What is your role? I mean, being a student, being a faculty, or being a part of this institution, what is the role? Very important role, because you people are basically, are opinion leaders to the society, right? So the curriculum integration. So first of all, institution can introduce or include the course in it, right? Maybe you must have started, maybe I'm not updated, but as I think there is no specific course, I also come across the green marketing course in some degree, or maybe the bachelor degree, or let it be focusing on 3 years in green marketing, or just focus on 1 year for green marketing. ESG practices also, we can a short-term course, or we can start curriculum economy, circular economy. Let's say example, IIM Bangalore also introduced a sustainability, a course in 2023 that increased the subject project on green entrepreneurship by the 41%. So that's a report only published in IIM annual report in 2023, right? So 41% of the total, entrepreneurship, that the student project that increased, right? Of course, even a smaller incremental growth is a growth actually. I tell you, even a 1% daily, 1% you daily you some do value addition in your daily life. No, I mean you will see after 1 or 2 months. No, your life will be improved, right? Your quality of life will improve. Your thought process will be improved, right? The thought process will be changed completely, right? The research and the evidence-based side, so students can conduct research-based, lifestyle assessments, carbon footprint audits, consumer attitude surveys, sustainable product design studied. For example, Delhi University's innovative project 2023 had with SMEs and reduced, packaging waste by 35% through student-led research. So even the small initiative also can help, but of course, as a part of the education institution, you guys have a very big role to play. Um, so industry collaboration and incubation centers, you also might have seen the incubation centers they have created in the college campuses, right? So a lot of funding also coming or done by the government in this case. So an example, AICT's 2024 Green Campus Initiative encouraged tie with the local industry for sustainable product innovations, right? A grassroots impact through some students. So students as a ambassador by conducting, even though I also run a campaign for the students for the campus ambassador program, right? That was successfully driven, and of course, even these students really joined as a interns in our organizations. I can tell you one thing: very brilliant brain. When you train them, motivate them, no, they can get the best result. Even though experienced marketing agency could not do it, right? It's surprising, and that has been experience. I am also handling. I am the only one who was handling these 40 students. I picked up around 25 students from one class, mass comm class, right? I was searching for interns, no. So I took the stand and take a chance. Let's say took a chance, and I picked up 25 students from a class of 60. I selected all 25, as interns. What a beautifully work they've done. They're really amazing. So sometimes also, bigger tasks, even you guide them and motivate them. Sometimes you also get the very good results out of it, right? So yeah. So next, yeah. So is there next? No. Okay, fine. So what is the energy resources efficiency cost saving? So land conversions and effective machinery, water recycling. You know, on the data also come up from the Outlook 2024 published data. So the industry is adopting energy efficient solutions, save 18 to 22% only. So you can see a lot of things, a lot of initiatives already uh, uh, doing from a various part of institution or domains or verticals, right? Um, but but ultimately goal is the at the end of the day how much you have gained, how much you have reduced the carbon emission. That matters a lot, right? So product innovation and new marketers, green products could create premium marketing example. EV example, if you talk about like EV product create premium marketing example. EV market in India grew by 29% year on year in 2023 to 24 due to sustainability led innovation, and I Niti Aayog brand that go green often access like export markets. So you can see like even though that product innovation also plays a very important role in this. Consumer demand market sustainable products. So Indian consumer are shifting fast. 57% of prefer sustainable brand that was studied in 2024. Millennials plus Gen Z, right, drive eco-friendly consumption. This matters. Sustainability actually boosts sales. In the India, environmental responsibility is no longer a trade-off. It is become a business strategy. So companies that embrace sustainability early will let the next thing into the growth. So uh, companies also focusing upon like these kind of initiative, and the consumer also starting demand. They are starting demand. They are demanding, the makes sustainable profitable, right? Especially these uh, youngsters, right? So eco-friendly home essential has already explained about this Awas, green homes, case study, very beautifully. I uh, actually I've seen this, this experience, this campaign, and I've been a part of this campaign. Uh, so plant-based detergent and reliable hand wash soap station. So these are the top, these are the top green startups. So I'm giving you idea, what all startups you can also think of. I mean, just you can pick up in 2025, where we are going to be graduated right in this year, probably next year. You can pick up these startup ideas. So I just done some research and I just picked it up for you guys. Uh, the solar power also is very important role, because solar is the future, I tell you. But uh, now these solar are basically dominated by unorganized players. So when we do not have any very limited players in this domain, so of course anybody wants to start his own business or brand, no, he or she can pick up this as a domain as a future. Next, eco-friendly corporate gifting. Of course, now I am also the customer of eco-friendly corporate gifting. If anybody is basically into this business, please do contact with me. If somebody wants to approach or pitch me for eco-friendly corporate gifting, because I am also handling this portfolio. And the green building material also is a future for us. Recycled plastic, power blocks, energy efficient window. So these are basic niche, but this is going to be a starting with a niche market. It will go to the it will expand as a mass market, right? So any big brand, you start with a niche, but end with the with the mass marketing, right? So yeah, so just go back, was just last slide. Yeah, just before this slide, yeah. Yeah, so high potential, this is for 2025, like India specific, low cost solar product for rural market. So these are the startup ideas. If you guys can pick up these ideas, or maybe you can work upon. Uh, Pollution control accessories, filter mask, car air purifiers, uh, and consulting for SMEs also could be a better options. Green waste festival product, eco garden ideals, idols and natural colors. This also could be carbon footprint, tracking apps also can be a good idea. Yeah, next. So ultimately, so I have discussed a lot of ideas. Even I could not see your messages because due to some technical problem. But the ultimately goal is to just uh, you know the green marketing is no longer a optional strategy. Of course, these are like oxygen, and we have to bound to follow these guidelines for the green marketing, right? So and similarly, it is a business driven by conscious consumer regulatory pressures. Of course, a guideline are there. Environmental responsibility, organization must integrate sustainability into their products. You know, of successful green marketing, build trust, long-term brand values, competitive advantages, while contributing to the healthier planet. So ultimately, goal is to this. I mean, government should uh, provide incentive for this also, right? For example, this is an incentive only, like when this is AICT is a government body, and we are getting support from the AICT to just ensure this session is being conducted, right? Yeah, so this is all from my end. But I would ask moderator to, if he can open the YouTube and you just put home green home Awas Finance. So just to
Okay.
see a video very beautifully, we have published recently. Uh,
No, I'll be just opening, sir. Just give me
okay,
some time.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, please. YouTube, yeah. By the time I can see, so hope I am.
no, it was a wonderful presentation, sir. It was an excellent presentation. You gave
Sorry, I
very
was not
wonderful
prepared. I
insight.
was not prepared. I mean, actually, I did not work upon, so whatever information I had, so I just put it in such a way. So it should be practical, look practical,
No,
not
it is an
so much.
excellent presentation, sir. Excellent presentation.
Thank you
And we
so much.
know
Thank
that
you.
you are very busy. So, what is I should type?
Yeah, you type Abbas Green Homes, Green Homes.
Awas
By
Green Homes.
Abbas Green Home. You put Abbas Green Home. Abbas double A V A S.
Double AVS. Okay.
Yeah. Green Homes. Yeah. Yes. The second one. नीचे वाला, हाँ ग्रीन और नीचे लिखा है सेकंड वन
ओके ओके,
नीचे वाला जो है ना, हाँ।
ऐसा घर
और
बनाइए,
इफ यू हैव,
एक ऐसा घर बनाइए।
हाँ हाँ, द स्मार्ट वे टू बिल्ड सस्टेनेबल, या आवाज आएगा क्या इसमें अभी? या
Is it audible, sir? Visible, audible?
I is visible, but I cannot hear. Maybe some another person. I mean, any one of you guys are able to hear. But any which ways,
Maybe
there's some.
because
I think.
it is audible to me, and the lyrics
Okay,
are
you're audible
written
to me.
on. Yeah, yeah, it is audible to me.
Okay, okay, that's good. So just hold on. This video we have done the shooting, and it was documentary kind of. So how this campaign is going on? Of course, to accelerate this campaign, we are also doing a lot of initiatives, right? Conducting BTL initiatives, and involving customers, communicating to the customer via various methods. So ultimately, goal is to how we can increase, accelerate these numbers from 500 to 1,000 to 1,000 to 2,000, right? So ultimately, we are helping the society of people at large, those who cannot afford, home loan from the bank. So since they do not have a proper documentation, they are small street side vendors, right? They do not have proper IT documents also, which are mandatory by the government banks and private bank also. So we just helping them, and really is a great experience when you see uh, the customer are uh, giving you a lot of thanks in a meeting, and saying that it was not possible when I was got this opportunity just because of this organization. So really feel good when you work for this organization, and really this organization help to the society at large. That's really feeling good factor. Yeah. So thank you so much, Charan sir, just so getting connecting with me and just creating this opportunity for me. Really insightful. I hope that I uh, could put value to this session in terms of my experience, and of course how we can ensure that future. So I would say one thing, that's green is the future. So green is the future. You pick up these domain area for a business startup, and of course these this domain is going to be the future for this country. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, it was indeed a very insightful presentation, sir. But before
Thank
I
you.
conclude, there is one question
Yeah,
from Sotar Ganesh. If you could
yeah,
answer, he
yeah.
has asked that can green marketing be truly effective in a developing economy where price sensitivity dominates consumer behavior?
Yes, I agree. The question is very valid, a very good question.
Sir, I
I'm
think
sorry,
you
sorry,
have.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just sorry. Thank you so much. Just to dropping me. So I was saying this. Am I audible now, Siran?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the question was that can a green marketing be truly effective in developing economy where price sensitive dominates consumer behavior truly? But as I could see, as I could present, in my slide, there's you know organization conducted research on the primary survey, and where they found that more than 30% of the consumer they are willing to pay for the extra, even though because they are feeling good factor, right? They are feeling good to just contributing in this noble cause. So of course, in this, even though in this developing country, even India also, customers are willing to pay, especially for the millennials and the Gen Zs, right? That we have seen this in the recent surveys, right? Recent research also. So of course, it is 100% doable in this country like India, because we are very sensitive people. Even we put money from up, even 1, 2, 3 rupee, even 10 rupee extra from our pocket, and we uh, we are informed that of course this is going to be hand to the society. We are willing to pay, and that's the backed by data. I'm saying, I'm not saying this is my philosophy, but this backed by data is more than 30 to 40% are willing to pay extra, and that is quite enough to just sustain it, to ensure the sustainability of this product and to sustainability of this ecosystem in this in this country. Yeah. Any
Okay, I
any any
think
question, please do ask.
okay, I think there are no more questions, but
Correct.
now let me conclude.
Yeah.
It was very wonderful presentation, sir. And what I wish to add to this presentation of yours is that green economy or green marketing is basically a paradigm shift. It can only not be left over to corporate houses, or it cannot be
Correct.
left over to government. The whole of the society will have to realize that now we have to change our buying patterns, our consumption patterns, and our disposal patterns also of our products. So it has to be a paradigm shift, and lot many organizations, including NGOs, government, United Nations, they all are working. But at the end, because this today's session was on green marketing, and in marketing, there is an unwritten rule that customer is the king. So ultimately, if the consumers, customers, they realize that yes, if green marketing is of significant contribution, it is of great importance, they will ultimately shift over to it. They will provide
Correct.
incentive. If demand is there, then only a corporate can work for it. Because if
Correct.
there is not demand for any particular product, then corporate will not be able to work for in that direction. Also, I need to add that in a country like India, where the actual market is now residing in rural area, our rural market is such a huge market, sir. Just give me 1 minute. Our 60% of population resides in rural market, and India is the most populous country in this world. So by the figure, around 80 to 90 crores of people in our country are residing in rural market. And in rural market and in rural areas, there are certain, ways of using or utilizing or decomposing a product or disposing a product. We all know that, once we purchase a all-out mosquito repellent, that machine will continue with us for 5 years. Only we
Correct.
wish to add that repellent. So inherently in India, we have a attitude towards green marketing, right?
Correct.
Wherein we try to preserve, we try to, see in developed nations, disposing the clothes is a great challenge, is a
Correct.
great issue, right? But in our country, we purchase a shirt. Once we discard it, wearing it, then we use it in whipping our clothes or something like that, and ultimately we will use it in cleaning our vehicles. So in a way, inherently in our country, in our society, we have some attitude towards green marketing. The
Correct.
only
Correct.
thing is that there has to be a demand in market. There has to be appreciation. There has to be an incentive for corporates in the market. Then only, the corporates will be able to move confidently towards green marketing.
Correct.
Otherwise, only the persuasion of government or regulatory agencies will motivate them. है ना? So that is only my submission, sir. Otherwise, it was an excellent presentation.
Thank you.
And it's very what I could say enjoyable interacting with you after so long a period. You have been
Thank
my
you.
reporting manager. It has been excellent working with you. Very sweet memories of working with you, sir.
Yes,
And
sir. Thank you.
and to this audience, August audience, I must share that very few people in corporates are there who have inclination for academics, and Mr. Tiwari is one of that person. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
If any question is there, we can take that question. Otherwise, we will call it a day. And
And my name is, I will share my your contact, my LinkedIn profile. Like, please you share in the group if somebody wants to like connect with me. I'm always, even I also do to provide free consultation to the new startups. If it's a great idea, yeah, I'm really willing to spend with you guys. Even also, I have contributed in so many startups, right? I mean, those who are struggling in the budgets, right? I help them out. But provided you should have a very great idea and you should willing to work, that I'm really willing to help you. I'm sharing my credit contact. Yeah.
Yeah, you can share it, sir. And very soon I will be inviting you to our university to interact with my student. So whenever you visit Bikaner, please let me know. We will arrange your, interaction with our students. And thank you so much for sparing time, sir.
Thank you so much, friends, sir, and the university to providing this opportunity. Really great session, but I really enjoy, when you have interaction with the future of this country, right? Really enjoy sharing ideas. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So
thank you. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, dear participants. So now we conclude this today's session, and we will meet again tomorrow at 6 p.m. Yeah, that was Dr. Dinesh Kumar. It was indeed a nice interacting session. And let me tell you that there are very few people in corporates who are so much inclined towards academics. This gentleman, he was doing very well in corporates. He's still doing very well in corporate. He is the chief marketing manager of a very big organization. He's in marketing management. So this shows his inclination toward academics. So thank you so much. Again, we will meet at tomorrow 6 p.m. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay.